Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Number one Amazon best-selling book, Fertile Imagination in the motherhood categories and women and business. So today I'm going to be doing a book signing and I wanted to just let you know what else I'll be sharing for moms and for dads who are interested in raising a totally obsessed reader. So here's the reason why I wanted to share those insights. I have 10 hot tips for you because my three young boys, they will wake up, they will walk around with, and they sleep to even the sounds of books. So I want to share with you how me, someone who didn't really enjoy reading as I grew up, eventually got to school, did her academic thing, and eventually became a book author. Like, what is that? What was my journey? But at the same time, more importantly, how can you raise totally obsessed readers? So I have these 10 tips, and right now I just want to share with you a couple of them. And then if you want all 10 tips, I suggest you go ahead and sign up in the link that you see below. It's right by the Amazon link where you can purchase the book or you can write your review, but it's essentially a link where you can get my 10 tips. And I'm going to be doing this live right now. So these 10 tips will be available within 24 hours. Okay, just so that this way you have a good appreciation for what sort of insights you are going to get should you decide to sign up for the 10 tips. Here we go. Here's the first one. And this one is going to be a bit obvious, but I want to just put it out there. You, the mom, the dad, the parent, you well. So if they see that you opt to read a book instead of watching TV or doing something else, your kids will feel like it's just what we do. And I really think that it's important. So in my house, I'm the voracious reader. Surprise, surprise. And I will say that my kids have come to realize that if they want to spend some quality time with me, it makes sense for them to grab a book and just like lie down next to me, cuddle with me, and read. And doesn't that sound like a divine way to spend quality time together? It really calms my three boys down from being super energetic, and it helps us have a shared experience that creates memories. That's the very first tip. And I think it's important for you to really understand that what you're reading is not as of consequence as it is the fact that you're reading a physical book. So if you're a Kindle person, then that's amazing. But what I would suggest you do, just so that maximum focus is possible for your kids, is have a physical book. That is point one out of 10. Here's point two. Okay, so this is an inside tip and it is really nuanced but very effective. So, as a parent, we often read to our kids when they're very little, and when they're older, there might be events that cater to our kids. Maybe they're hosted by the author, maybe they're hosted by the publishing house. It doesn't even matter. What I would suggest you do is look for those events where your kid's favorite author is going to be signing books. Here is why. I'll give you an example. So this is tip number two. So this was in Sydney, Australia. Went to a writing festival, and Aaron Blabely, I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, was present in Australia. And I took my son to this event. So it happened to be his birthday as well, my son. And I introduced my son to the author of Bad Guys. And he signed the book that we had in terms of the bad guys. So, what does that do? That takes the mystery out of the book. It's like, oh my goodness, there's a real human being that is behind the book that I am reading. So, as a podcaster, and also in my book, Fertile Imagination, I have a whole chapter where I interviewed the New York Times best-selling illustrator behind the Iggy Peck series, Questionnaires, Rosie Riveter, I think it is, or Revere. So that series is on Netflix. and David Roberts is the illustrator. And he shares with us moms in the book Fertile Imagination how you can use your observation skills as an illustrator. What I want to just share with you is that now my kids are able to connect the dots. An actual person that their mom spoke to is the person behind the magnificent illustrations of the Questionnaires Andrea Beatty series. And now, again, it just makes a closer connection between the child and the love of reading. And that is point number 2 out of 10. And I would suggest that not only you look at library events, but also consider events that are from the author's website. So if you go to my website, fertileideas.com, if I do an event, I will let you know on my website. So you'd have to just sign up, grab a free chapter, and that is one opportunity for you to be aware of when I will be in your neck of the woods or even online. So I wanted to just share that 2nd out of 10 tips for how you can raise absolutely obsessed about reading books. So here's the 3rd tip, and then I'm going to stop right there. 3rd tip, stand up for your kids' interests. Here's why that's so important. As a little girl, I was always told, read Pride and Prejudice, read Babysitter's Club or whatever, and read all these fiction books. And I would have never known that I did not enjoy fiction books. And I was forced to write book reports every single summer, about 3 or 4 book reports, and I would procrastinate. And I still have, I think, a little bit of PTSD when it comes to reading things very last minute. So I don't like doing that. But I did not realize that you actually can enjoy reading if you are the one that has the choice. You're making the decision. I want to read nonfiction books. Lo and behold, right? Fertile Imagination is totally nonfiction. So I would suggest for you to really understand which books your child gravitates towards. And if their teacher suggests that you have them read something different, stand up for your kids' interests. It's one entry point into the absolute voracious, obsessive sort of reading that my kids do. And I remember at one point, my husband had actually heard a teacher of one of my kids say, "Oh, you know what? He reads all those like books that are like with images and such." Oh, I love it when that happens. I'm recording and then my phone has to ring. I'm not sure why that happens. But anyway, so point of the matter is point 3 is stands up for your kids' interests, right? So we found out that the teacher said read things that are like Charlotte's Web, but my kids could care less about Charlotte and her web. So instead we let them really, really go double down on the books that they enjoyed, the ones with all these graphics, the ones with all the jokes, etc., etc. So those are the top 3 out of the 10 tips for how to raise a obsessed about reading child. Now, if you want all 7 tips, I have a URL in the description of this live stream that you can absolutely use to sign up to. So go ahead and look at the URL. I will try to make it smaller, but I wanted to just give you that information. So top 3, but there are 10 ways for you too to have a child that wants to wake up, walk with, and fall asleep with books. Like we're talking running to libraries. We're talking deciding to read a book when a TV exists. So it's really important. And I think for me, having come from a situation where I didn't really enjoy books to now being a best-selling author, I think there's just a testament there. I think there's always a way that you can actually pivot your kid into really being enthusiastic about the things that you are enthusiastic about as well. All right, so if for whatever reason you do not see a link for you to actually sign up to get the top 10 tips for how you can raise an obsessed obsessed about reading child, then just send me a message. So you're seeing this. This is a portion. These are not all the 10 tips. I have other tips that I'm looking at right now on my whiteboard, and I want to share them with you. If you're a parent and you have a child between the ages of 4 and I would say 15, prime time. All right. Thank you so much. And there's the link for you if you're interested in buying the book, Fertile Imagination. If you are ready to write a 2 to 3 sentence Amazon review, I'm at 46 right now, and we need to get to 50 as soon as possible. So it's really, really important so that this way, as soon as Monday, moms start seeing that Amazon is suggesting Fertile Imagination in their cart as well. Thank you so much and have an amazing weekend. Again, if you want to know the 10 tips for how to raise an obsessed about reading child, definitely check out the link that I've included, or just send me a message or comment in the comments on the platform where you're watching this live stream. Signing off, Melissa Lorena, Amazon #1 bestseller in motherhood and women in business category. Have an amazing day. And guess what? I'm going to the Texas Book Festival with this headband because I want to draw the attention of parents. Bye, everyone, and thank you so much for your support.